I don't know. I wanna stay for a while, I wanna move your way. No, the roof might cave in, all of these snakes in the wild. I'm about to lose my brain, tell me who gon' save me.
Hey everyone, Taylor here with the Bonfire Briefing Podcast, and before we hop into this next episode, I just wanted to say a couple of things up front. Firstly, I know that the uploading schedule has been inconsistent as hell. There just hasn't really been, especially these past 2 episodes in particular. I moved to Nashville. It's been real chaotic, that week leading up to it, and the time that I've spent here since. And I know that, as someone who also listens to a fair amount of podcasts, that it can be a little irritating, when you don't see an episode regularly when it's supposed to happen. So after this episode comes out, which I know is crazy late, I'm going to try to get on a more normal uploading schedule, and I think that's going to start with this next episode, which will be this upcoming Tuesday, so a little less than a week from today. I think I'll be able to stick to that. I think I'm going to start uploading every Tuesday too. I don't really know why Tuesday has just become the easiest day for me to upload episodes, minus these, this episode and the most previous one, but I don't really know why, but Tuesday's just become a little bit better of a day to upload for me. So I think I am going to, I've been doing it for a while, I guess, but, officially say on here that I'm going to start uploading regularly every Tuesday. I also wanted to say that I do have some guests that I have in the works that I'm hoping to get on. If not the episode after this one, then definitely the next 2 episodes after that. One of them, I've mentioned him before. I am going to reach out to him here soon to get him on. Tommy Brown III. He's been on the show twice. He's now running for mayor in Salem, Indiana. So going to have him back on the show for a 3rd time. Tommy Brown III on the show for the 3rd time. Love that guy. Definitely look him up and follow him if you're not already. Also, there's a presidential candidate that I'm talking to, and am definitely going to have on the show within the next couple of weeks. So you'll have to wait and see who that's going to be. But some very exciting stuff for the podcast moving forward. I'm ready to kind of get back into how things were last year. It's been a lot of episodes with Alex and I recently, and we're still going to do those episodes and everything like that. But, I realize I haven't had a guest other than him on in quite some time, and I would kind of like to get back to doing that more regularly. So, I think with TB3 and the presidential candidate I'm talking to, maybe some more MMA fighters. I've been thinking about getting some different kinds of academics and just real experts in different specific fields that I've been learning a lot about recently. So, if you love the episodes with Alex that we've been doing these past couple of months, tremendous. We're still going to keep doing them. But if you're also, sitting there like, gosh, I wish you would have on, a different guest every now and then, just hold on. We will. One last thing before we hop into this episode. I said last episode that this was going to be an episode with live reactions to UFC 290, which happened this past weekend. Volkanovski, Rodriguez, Moreno, Pantoja, and, after every fight, we recorded our live reactions, and that was going to be this episode. I do have some of those recordings. I am missing the last 2 of the night, so the 2 title fights. I don't know if I forgot to save them, if I accidentally deleted them, or what happened, but I cannot find them whatsoever. It sucks because we were drinking, having a good time. And I thought we had some fun stuff to say there at the end of what was a great card, but I cannot find the recordings for the 2 title fights. So I have the reactions for the last fight of the prelims, so Robbie Lawler, Nico Price, all the way through Robert Whittaker and Dricus du Plessis. So I'm going to stop talking here in a minute, and you're going to hear back-to-back our live reactions to all of those fights, except for the two championship ones, and then I'm going to come back on here and because the recordings that we made are not very long, so after you listen to them, I'm going to hop back on here, give maybe some broader thoughts about UFC 290, what's next for a couple of people, and just really talk about that great card. UFC 290 was a lot of fun. It was the first UFC pay-per-view I watched in Nashville with Alex, us sitting together. It's been a while since we've done that for some fights, so it was a lot of fun, and it was a great card to watch. So here are our live fight-by-fight reactions from this Saturday for UFC 290. All right, here we are, doing our live reactions fight-by-fight like we said we would. If you haven't checked out the episode that we uploaded, I don't know, 4 hours ago, whenever we uploaded it, it's up now is the point. Go check that out. We made predictions, talked about UFC 290. We just watched Robbie Lawler knock out Nico Price in the first round and retire. It was his last fight. They showed a little highlight video, and he took care of Nico Price quickly. You know, this is a very nice way for a guy like Robbie Lawler to end his career.
Shit. Yeah, he's just a crazy motherfucker. I don't know. I mean, yeah, you don't always get to go out on top, but, you know, that's you can't really beat going out like that. I was just fucking thinking right before we fucking knocked him out, like, you know, the dude's just gonna go down. He's just fucking, like, I wouldn't say starstruck, but, like, the moment's too big. Like, Robbie Lawler has to win, you know? And the dude just really wasn't fucking ready for any of it. I mean, it kind of sucks for Robbie Lawler. I'm sure he wanted to go for fucking, you know, a couple rounds. But, I mean, I don't know. It's probably better than just getting beat up before your last fight, so.
Yeah, he won't have to go through any long, like, recovery period. He'll be fine. He can go do whatever the fuck he's going to do other than cage fight for a living.
I wonder what he does next.
I don't know, man. I bet he trains currently at the gym that he's at. He trains other fighters already, so I could definitely imagine him transitioning into a coach type role. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in some corners.
Yeah,
coming up here.
Who fights in his gym that you know off your head? I
don't know. I cannot remember what gym he fights at. He's fought at a couple, so I don't know who he's with now.
Shit, we might have that information for the next fucking segment of this.
Yeah, no, we're actually gonna find it out right now as I say more good things about Robbie Lawler. His fight with Roy McDonald is one of the best fights ever. It really is great. If I was gonna recommend anybody to watch a fight, I would have them watch that fight. So Robbie Lawler is currently at Sanford MMA. Or no, well, yes, but they're known as Killcliff now, I guess.
Oh, that's some kind of energy.
Yeah. And they're based in Florida. Henry Hooft coaches there. He's a really famous kickboxer. He's a lot of really big MMA fighters and kickboxers have trained with him. He's very legit. And Greg Jones is another one there. He's a all-time great NCAA wrestler. So a lot of high-level talent there at Killcliff FC now, as they are called. Some notable fighters that have trained there. I don't know if all these are no, it's obviously not. These are not people who train here right now, not all of them anyway. But some people that have trained here. Robbie Lawler, obviously, Kamaru Usman, Michael Chandler, Luke Rockhold, Vitor Belfort, Rashad Evans, Gilbert Burns, Derek Brunson, Michael Johnson, Shavkat Rakhmonov, Rafael Fiziev. Real dangerous gym, it sounds like. The late Anthony Johnson fought at this gym, trained here. So, I don't know, man. It'll be very cool to see Robbie Lawler kind of join that, that group of guys there at Kill Cliff FC. No, I'm pretty ecstatic about it, man. I like that he got his win. I like that he got to go out on a high note. It was very nice. He put on a good performance. Nico Price is not a bad fighter, but you got to root for Robbie Lawler on his, during his last fight. And they're doing a little bit of, desk stuff now. They got Michael Bisping and Dominic Cruz up on the desk talking about some fights. Looks like the main card is going to start in about 5 minutes, so we're about to flip that over. Maybe get in a match of FIFA on the way, and the first fight that's happening after this one is Bo Nickel and Val Woodburn.
Let's go, Val.
You're rooting for Val now. We on the podcast earlier we said Bo Nickel.
Yeah, I fucking want Val to win though. He's in my parlay, and I fucking think he's big time underdog. Let's fucking go.
I'm still rooting for Bo Nickel,
Bull Nickel, yeah. Fuck
whoever that is. I'm still rooting for him. I think he is going to win. He is a minus 1,500 favorite right now. Val Woodburn is a plus 900 underdog. I think Bo Nickel is going to smoke him. He's just going to take him down and wrestle him and fuck his life up. But you will hear from us after that fight there, and we will give our reaction to that one too. So stay tuned right after this. We got Bo Nickel.
Yeah, I guess.
And who's the other guy's name? Val Woodburn.
Val Woodburn's name.
Val Woodburn.
Fucking dub.
All right. Let's see. So we just got done watching Bo Nickel.
Yeah, we just recorded, maybe 10 minutes ago, and that's including all the commercials and everything else because Bo Nickel finished that motherfucker fast.
Dude, fast, man. Knocked him out too. The overhand, the short left overhand was beautiful, and then the uppercut that he landed to really knock him down it was real nice, man. I mean, I feel like everyone was expecting Bo Nickel to go in there. That's the Sean Malley highlight we're watching. I expected everyone, would have thought that Bo Nickel would go in there, wrestle, and submit him or something. But no, he got the job done on the feet. And that's nice.
Not just fucking barely either. Like fucking very convincingly. Like he has a great fucking striking game.
Yeah, 38 seconds that knockout was. So, I don't know. I thought it would be a little bit different of a fight, but Bo Nickel was not playing any fucking games out there. He got the job done. Looked real good doing it. You asked me earlier before the fight started, I think that would Bo Nickel be in the top 15 after that win? I think the answer is no, but I think after his next fight, or maybe the fight after that.
No, his next fight should put him in the top 15.
They're going to have to put him against somebody I
think he's ready for top 15 competition.
I think he is too, but I feel like maybe a lot of those guys wouldn't want to fight him because his style is so wrestling heavy. They should fight him though, obviously. He looked great out there, man. He's not just a wrestler. His hands.
He has fucking heavy hands too.
Yeah.
Fast, heavy hands. Just fucking. Also a fucking seems like a good guy. Fucking mentioned his family, and congratulations to Bo Nickel, going to be a father. Fucking,
very nice.
Seems like a good family man. Just mentioned all some good shit. Usually people act like degenerates not everybody. Half the people act like degenerates after a fight, which is fair. I would also act like a degenerate.
Yeah.
But, Bo Nickel it behaves like he's fucking, ready to be that guy, which, I mean, anybody who watches knows he already is, pretty fucking big, but, he's ready to be a household name.
Yeah. No, he's legit. They were just playing some of his highlights here. We're watching the pay-per-view live, fight by fight. Not really live, but while it's happening. It'll come out Sunday, so no, just a fun fight. And now, I mean, we're at Jalen Turner and Dan Hooker.
We got like 3 fights left.
Do we have 4 fights left?
4 fights left. Jesus, we're just rolling through this shit.
Yeah, we got Jalen Turner and Dan Hooker, which is great. I am kind of regretting saying that I think Dan Hooker would win. I really don't know. I think it's a big toss-up. But then after that, I mean, it's Whitaker, Duplessis, Moreno, Pantoja, and Volkanovski and Rodriguez.
It's crazy we have a fucking Moreno and a Volkanovski fight tonight. Those would be like things I was looking forward to for like a month.
Yeah.
But they're on the same fucking night. Crazy.
Yeah, and they're going to happen here in like an hour and a half.
Unless these fights go as fast as the other ones and they fucking just had to start them early. I don't know. Did they even do that? Who knows?
Maybe. I mean, if these other ones ended real quick, I don't know, man.
I think we broke a record today. That was the 4th fight finishing under like 20 seconds in a fucking card ever.
40 seconds,
okay.
yeah. It tied, I think it either set or tied a modern UFC record. I don't remember which one. But yeah, no, I'm also fucking done with what do we do? Jim Beam,
Apple and fucking
Coke.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. I'm polishing off one of these. We're 1 fight into the main card, which is a really nice time to have a fun buzz going.
Yeah.
We've got video games on one of these TVs in here. Playing a little bit of FIFA. It's International Fight Week, so we got to celebrate by playing some FIFA.
We should celebrate by playing some UFC, but that fucking got very old very fast.
We did play some UFC.
Yeah, got my shit beat. But whatever. Fucking yeah.
No.
So FIFA time.
Yeah, it's FIFA time. We're going to play a little bit of FIFA. We're going to watch this Dan Hooker, Jalen Turner fight, and we're going to be getting back with you guys right after that fight.
You are going to get a great fucking show this coming Sunday.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a good one. So if you're listening, stick with us. This episode is only going to get better and better. And you should be watching UFC 290 on whatever platform you can get it on.
There's a lot out there.
Yeah. Well, if you want to pay for it, you can go to ESPN and do so. If you want to.
There is an option to pay for it.
Yes, you can do that if you want to.
Yeah, enjoy.
Do whatever you got to do. And enjoy. We will be back after this next fight here. Hooker, Turner, let's go. Look at these. All right, we're back. Dan Hooker just beat Jalen Turner. We're looking at the people in the crowd right now. That's fucking Glover Teixeira back there. And that's Zhang Wei Li. Rey Mysterio. They spelled his name wrong. Isn't it R-E-Y? I'm almost certain.
Maybe. Charles Oliveira.
Charles Du Bronx Oliveira. The champ.
They just had Big Dick Jamal Murray was just on.
Yeah, Jamal Murray was on. No, we also, I don't know,
Oh, Donald Trump's in the house. We meant to mention that fucking 3 recordings ago.
Yeah, Donald Trump is in the house. Bo Nickel went over and said hello to him, which was interesting. It was nice. Donald Trump is in the house. He is.
Fucking Taylor is not a fucking cat guy, but there's one laying next to him right now, and I can tell it's making him uncomfortable. But he's coming around,
I don't know about that. I mean, we're recording right now. There is a cat between us, which is why, the audio might be a little different this time. But there is a cat between us. I do pet him. I do have mild cat allergies.
Dan Hooker got it done. It fucked up my parlay. One of my 2 I had going, but
I'm 3 for 3. I'm 3 for 3. I said while we were watching the fight, I said Dan Hooker was going to take it in a split decision. I said Dan Hooker on the previous podcast, which you should watch. Below the Surface 35 or 6.
You also said in the last fucking time we recorded one of these, which would be about 4 minutes ago for everyone else, that you regretted your Dan Hooker call.
Yeah, well, I didn't take it back, did I? No. I stuck by it. No, I stuck by it. I didn't recall it. I didn't put it on Twitter like I said I was going to do, but there is record of it. I am 3 of 3 in these final 6 fights. Dan Hooker is the man. He's fought a higher level of competition than Jalen Turner. And split decision, I thought it was a good fight, a very close fight.
I think Jalen Turner can definitely hang. He just kind of got rocked in the second round and just never really recovered all the way. But he's stuck in there, fucking stuck it out.
Yeah, no, you have to take experience into account. Dan Hook is a guy that's been around the block. He's fought a lot of the best guys in the division, and you're not going to get him out of there real easy. And I feel like Jalen Turner learned that. I feel like a lot of casual fans remembered it or either learned it for the first time because Dan Hooker is the man. He's got an impressive resume. They are showing a promo right now for Poirier and Gaethje for the BMF title. That's nice.
When's that going to be?
I think July 29th. We'll probably see it here at the end of this promo. Let's see what they have it at. Good God. That's going to be fucking violence. Who else? Oh, that's Blachowicz and Pereira. Damn. On that same card? Yeah. That's nice.
Damn.
2 former champs going at it, 205. Gaethje, Poirier, yeah, no, that's all nice. That's all good stuff. That is, yeah, July 29th. That's a great pay-per-view. We're going to have to do some shit like this.
Yeah.
You know, really celebrate it. Not that we haven't celebrated this one. I've had plenty of beers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 8's in the hand, plus a fucking Jim Beam apple down the hat.
Jim Beam apple. No, it's good. And I'll have a few more before the co-main event and the main event and Robert Whittaker Duplessis, which is next. We have 3 fights left.
3 fights?
Bangers.
You got fucking 3 beers left to drink out of the 12-pack? A beer fight?
No.
Wait.
4, I think. 9,
12.
10, 11, yeah.
I can't do math.
And there's still Jim Beam and
There's
Coke in
plenty
there,
of
which
Jim
is
Beam.
nice. Yeah, so we're going to dive into a little bit of that. We have 3 massive fights coming up. Like I said, Robert Whittaker, Dricus Duplessis is up next. Then we have the 2 title fights. It's going to be great.
And we got some FIFA to play in between.
We are going to be playing some FIFA in between. I'm beating you right now, right? 3-2?
Bitch, I already quit that game.
Oh, right.
It's 0-0. We started.
Okay, we started a new one. Yeah, no, so we're going to hop into some FIFA, and I'm going to win that. And we're going to rejoin you guys after the Whittaker-Duplessis fight. We're rooting Whittaker, right?
I got Duplessis. I think he's got.
You got Duplessis?
He's got more on the line.
That's insane. This guy has Duplessis. We're going to tune back in whenever his fucking parlay continues to
South
fall.
African fighter. All right.
We're going to tune back in after his parlay falls apart. Yeah, we'll see you then. All right, so we're back. We just watched
The greatest African fighter that is currently in mixed martial arts.
Dricus Duplessis finishes Robert Whittaker and knocks him out. TKOs him? I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, TKOs him.
Yeah, no. The only guy not named Israel Adesanya in the past 9 years to defeat Robert Whittaker is Dricus Duplessis. First fight of the night I've predicted wrong. He's legit. You know, you can hate him all you want.
He looks like Ben Affleck.
He looks a little bit like Ben Affleck. I don't think he looks a lot like him, but we'll roll with it.
If you had to pick an actor to act for him, it'd be Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
That looks similar anyways.
Yeah, it was a good fight. I mean, I wouldn't even really say that Whittaker looked bad. He did less, and he didn't really put that pressure on like he kind of does in Adesanya Duplessis.
So Duplessis gets his belt that he fucking deserves.
Damn. Yeah. I don't know that I agree with that. I think Izzy's better than he is. I'm probably still going to go with Izzy. I think he'll retain his belt, and I don't know. I don't know. That's all early. Duplessis has, he's exceeded expectation in the UFC, so I wouldn't really be surprised to see him put on a great performance against the champion.
Shit. Yeah, watch him fucking win. He's just fucking... I didn't give him a lot of credit. I think he looks kind of fucking he just kind of looks goofy. He looks too clean cut to be a fighter, Like I said, he looks like he should be selling insurance or a real estate agent or something. But, man, he can fucking throw down. So
Yeah.
you got to respect it.
Shit, hold on. Our FIFA game has unpaused.
Okay, we're good. All right.
Okay, yeah, no, we are safe. We have been playing some FIFA. I am up 2-0. Manchester City versus, that's me. Manchester City versus Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich ain't shit. So now we've got 2 title fights coming up. Big time title fights.
You're on beer 10. You better finish this before the next one starts so you can finish the beers as the fights end.
I'm going to break into a little bit of that Jim Beam.
God damn.
Yeah.
No,
So-
so you gotta finish the beers first.
Oh, that's it. Light work. That'll be over soon. Unless Moreno comes out here and just dog walks Pantoja.
Which might happen. Nah, I don't know if he's
I
not.
don't know. Pantoja's beat him twice, man. He's beat him twice,
A
but
lot
I think
of people beat him a long time ago. He wasn't the same fighter he was when he left the UFC and came back.
I don't think he's not the fighter he was, so I think it's unfair to compare them. Does it affect Moreno or Pantoja? I bet it does. I bet it gives Pantoja confidence. He's beaten him twice. And I bet Moreno does think about it a little bit in the back of his mind, but I'm going with Moreno, man. I think he's a completely different fighter than he was back when he fought Pantoja 5 years ago in Chile.
Yeah, you've a good spelt in that fact right there that just popped up on the screen.
I'm good. This is a podcast. I don't know. They're listening to it tomorrow, man. What do you gotta... Come on. Come on, man. What do you mean? Just give it to me. Jesus Christ. I'm trying to put on a show here, and you're calling out my cheap tricks. Hitting that fucking Delta 8 Farm Bill fucking bullshit.
These goddamn Chinese chemicals.
Yeah.
Speaking of goddamn Chinese chemicals, Duplessis paid his respects to our fucking true president, Donald Trump.
Yeah, if we've mentioned it before, but Donald Trump is in the crowd. Everybody who's winning is paying respect to him, and
As they should.
and Dana White's right next to him, as you would expect, longtime friends. It is cool to see the president come to a UFC event. I don't think it's really. You don't even have to like Trump, but
You should.
if you like.
I'm just kidding. Do whatever you want, but he's all
If
right
you
sometimes.
you like MMA fights, you like UFC fights, Trump shows up to the fights, it is cool to see him interact with the fighters. It just is. It's like a president showing up to a football game or a basketball game or
Which all those people booed him, which is kind of shitty
Yeah.
to do when he was president. But UFC,
But-
those people love him,
do they
fucking-
love him. They love him like nobody else, and it's just cool. It's cool to have the former president Donald Trump in town, watch the fights. He's been here since the Bo Nickel fight, at least, right?
He came in at the beginning of the main card.
Yeah.
So Bo Nickel.
Yeah, so Bo Nickel. Yeah, no, he showed up, and everyone who's met with him has loved him. Theo Vaughn is in the crowd. Who are some other people we saw? Theo Vaughn was a great one.
Fucking Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny
He's
Knoxville.
always at these fucking things.
Adesanya, got in the octagon and,
Acting like a fucking...
with Duplessis.
Just fucking ruined the interview, post-fight interview, Like, just fucking... Just trying to steal the moment, He's just a goofy bitch. I never liked him, so...
Yeah.
Fuck it. I hope he loses. Hope he loses bad.
Yeah, so we've, I think, are you talking about Adesanya or?
Yeah. I hope he fucking loses.
To Duplessis?
Shit. Yeah. Fucking, all right.
All right.
We'll be back. Fucking, thanks for
We've
tuning
got Brandon Moreno, Alessandre Pantoja up next. We're gonna watch this fight. We're gonna be back with you after it, and we're gonna see who won and who, is the flyweight champion of the world. It'll be a lot of fun. See you guys in 5 to 25 minutes. All right, Taylor here. I'm back to give you guys some broader reactions to the UFC 290 pay-per-view. I hope you enjoyed our fight-by-fight reactions, even though they're a little late. It was a lot of fun to sit there and watch that card. It was such a great card to watch. Something else I forgot to mention in the beginning of this episode. So we were we were stationary in a house recording the reactions just on a phone. We didn't use a microphone, anything like that. We used my phone, as a matter of fact, and I was on my phone recording that intro and recording this one. So if you're wondering why it sounds different, it's because I'm recording on the phone. I'm also in my car right now recording this, so if you hear a little whatever in the background, I didn't really hear much on the intro, so apologies if there's anything. But yeah, just kind of wanted to talk about UFC 290 a little bit more. The intro and the fight reactions would be a little short of a podcast, so really just wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about those fights. I've said it a million times already, but it was just, such a fun card. I mean, really from top to bottom, it was just a lot of fun. I thought a lot of these guys, in the prelims and the main card, I mean, pretty much everyone went out there and put on a good show. I mean, we had a 17-second knockout, second fight of the night. Jesus Santos Aguilar, knocked out Shannon Ross 17 seconds. And then a little further up in the prelims, Denise Gomes knocked out Yasmin Jaregui. Not 100% sure on the pronunciation there, but Gomes knocked her out in 20 seconds. So we had some very quick knockouts. Robbie Lawler also finished Nico Price very, very quickly. The Bo Nickel fight was quick. There was a lot of first round finishes. Cameron Simon in the early prelim card TKO'd Terrence Mitchell. Just some, really great fights here. I don't even really know where to jump in. Let me see. Maybe Alonzo Menefield and Jimmy Crute. I'm not really sure. I don't know. It's been a while. I don't remember all the details about some of them earlier fights. I do actually, before the Menefield Crute fight, I do remember being impressed with Vitor Petrino. Fought Marcin Pragniau last of the early prelim fights. Submitted him. Late in the third round. I think had about a minute left there. Great fight. Great fight. Very impressive, too, because Pragniau is a guy, he's been inconsistent. He's been on and off in the UFC, but when he's on, he looks good. He beat Khalil Roundtree, William Knight, guys like that. So, I feel like it's not, I feel like he can compete in the UFC. He's just had a little bit of a rougher go at it than some others, and I don't know that I really expected Petrino to be able to, I don't know if dominate is the right word, but Pragniau just wasn't really able to get a whole lot going the entire fight, really, from what I remember. But, if you can submit a guy like Pragniau, that's the first time Pragniau's been submitted in his entire professional career. So, hats off to Petrino there. I remember Alonzo Menefield and Jimmy Crute having a really, really good fight. Another fight that ended by submission. I thought Menefield would win this one. Of course, it's a rematch. They fought each other originally in February of this year in Perth, which was the Islam Volkanovski Rodriguez Emmett card. And they fought. It was a draw. Menefield was deducted a point in the third round for grabbing the cage. So there was just a lot of people wanted to see that one run back, I feel like, and we got to see it. And oh man, hold on, there we go. Lost my place here on the phone. No, I expected Menefield to win this fight. I thought without the fence grab, he would have won the first fight, but he even looked more impressive on Saturday night. Getting the submission win like he did. And Jimmy Crute is, he's a hell of a fighter. He's been on a bit of a slide recently in his UFC career, but he's fought some high level guys. He's fought Menefield these past two times, but before then, he was fighting Jamal Hill and Anthony Smith, guys like that. So that was a fun, exciting fight. Very great performance from Minifield, really solidifying, that rematch with Jimmy Crute. Talked about it already. After that was Gomez and Yasmin. The 20-second knockout. I don't know much about Gomes. I know so little about her. I don't even know if it's Gomes or Gomez, but I've been saying Gomes, so I'm going to stick with it. I don't really know all that much about her, but she caught my eye when she knocked out Yasmin in 20 seconds. So, hats off to her. And Yasmin is no slouch either. She competed in a Combate Global, had a tournament. Like a women's tournament in 2021, and she won the tournament. And she fought 3 different women the same day, and she did not finish all of them. I was about to say she finished all of them. She finished 2 of them, knocked 2 of them out, won a decision for the other one. But that's impressive, I think. So her opponent was no slouch, but she was able to get her out of there just really quick. Tatsuro Taira was the next fight after that. Real young guy, 23 years old, fighting out of, I don't know why I said old like that. Old. He continued to look real impressive. I know a lot of people are talking really highly about him, and he got the win last Saturday night over Edgar Chairez, and he has looked good, throughout his career. He's looked very good. 2 submission wins in the octagon so far out of 4 fights. Of course, he's won all 4 of those fights. He's never lost. He's 14-0. Could be looking at big things for the guy. They fought at a catchweight on Saturday. He usually fights at 135 pounds, I believe. Or he might have been the guy talking about moving up to 145. I'm not sure. Let me see. Was he? I don't know that he was. I could have swore somebody from Saturday night was saying, it was fun to fight at this weight, but I think I'm going to move up for my future fights. Maybe somebody did, and it just wasn't Tatsuro. But he looked very good. I mean, no real complaints there. Pretty handily won that fight. And I mean, he's on the up and up. I feel like with Figueiredo, I don't know why I brought up Figueiredo there. He fights at bantamweight. He's not moving up to bantamweight like Figueiredo. So my little analogy there was not going to work. I don't know where I got that from. No, but it was a good win, and he has looked good in his other UFC appearances. So, got to keep an eye out on old Tatsuro Taira. After that, of course, you heard Alex and I talk about this fight all the way up to the Duplessis-Whitaker fight, but it was very, very nice to watch Robbie Lawler get a win in his last UFC fight. It just... I thought he would win it. It just kind of felt like he would, because it's Robbie Lawler, and you got to feel like a guy like Robbie Lawler wants to go out, on a bang, or with a bang rather, and he did. 38-second knockout, I believe it was, over Nico Price. And I mean, there's nothing against Nico Price. He's a very good martial artist in his own right. Very, very good mixed martial artist, but nobody was rooting for him that night, except for his family, maybe. Everybody was rooting for Robbie Lawler. Everybody wanted to see, a legend like him go out with a win, because he's had a rough, last few years. He's been fighting high level competition, but the last couple of years of his career, there's been a lot of losses. He went on a 4-fight skid. But it was really nice to see him get a quick first round knockout. Very nice knockout too, man, on Nico Price. And that's after getting his fight with Rory McDonald. What I believe, it's one of the best MMA fights of all time. It might be number 1. It very well could be. There's a handful or less of fights I think you could say are like the best of all time, and I think that's one of them. And I've even said before, if someone was going to ask me, and you hear this asked all the time, if someone asked me what the first MMA fights somebody should watch to get into the sport, I mean, can you really think of a better answer than Lawler McDonald too? I don't know. There are some other great fights out there, but I think that might be the one. It just kind of has everything that you're looking for in an MMA fight. I think there's violence, there's blood, there's a finish. It's very competitive, very back and forth. McDonald's nose is just fucking busted. It was brutal. It was a brutal fight. I knew when I was watching that fight while it was happening that it was special. That this was not just your ordinary Robbie Lawler or Rory McDonald fight. That this was really something special. And it was. And he's had a lot of great fights, man. People have been talking about him all week because he's retiring and everything. But his that fight with Rory was great. The fight that he had right after it against Carlos Condit, very controversial at the time. I'm a big Carlos Condit fan, so I was not really unbiased. Not that I didn't like Robbie Lawler, but Condit is maybe my favorite 170-pound guy of all time. I just I really like the way that he fights, and I remember watching that fight thinking that he had won it at the time. I don't know that I've gone back and watched it since then. Definitely not recently, but it was a great fight, regardless of how you feel about the decision. Very great fight. I feel like you could say the same thing about the fight where he won the title against Johnny Hendricks. Another real close decision there. Him knocking out Josh Koscheck, 10 years ago now. Damn, that's crazy. That was a great finish. His first fight with Rory was fun. His knockout of Melvin Manhoff is a classic. Go check that one out if you haven't seen it. A lot of his earlier career knockouts, he has one over Frank Trigg and the flying knee against Joey Villasenor. I don't know why I said Villa. Like, I didn't live in San Antonio for a couple years. No, man, but he's, you can't really say enough good things about Robbie Lawler. He's truly a legend of the sport, a Hall of Famer now, as he should be. And he's one of the few guys that, everyone wants to become champion in the UFC one day, and Robbie Lawler did it. He's been fighting for titles for a long time. He fought Jacare for the Strike Force Championship, however long ago that was, and he's just been fighting at this high level for so long. And really until the end of his career, he was still fighting those incredibly high level guys. He fought Ben Askren when Ben Askren was in the UFC. Very controversial finish there. Well, it is very clearly a referee mistake, but Rafael dos Anjos, Colby Covington, Neil Magny, Tyron Woodley. He's fought the cream of the crop at 170 basically his whole career. It's just you can't get it done against everyone. But the fact that he's been fighting in MMA. He made his debut in 2001. And he was still fighting high-level guys as of, these past couple of years. So, if you're talking about a guy that definitely deserved to go out on top, he might not have retired the champion or anything like that, but, to go into your last fight, knowing it's your last fight, getting a 38-second knockout, I would say that is pretty special. So, hats off to Robbie Lawler. He's already been training and coaching at his gym and everything like that. So, maybe we'll see Robbie Lawler in more fighters' corners or something like that. I think that would be really cool. But the whole sport of MMA, all the fans will definitely miss, what it felt like when Robbie Lawler was on a card and when he started making his way to the ring, and just that that tense feeling when you're watching him fight, because you never know when he's going to pull that trigger and just put somebody's lights out, man. He's, the bad motherfucker title is on the line later this month, I believe, July 28th, 29th, something like that. And when you think about bad motherfuckers, he's not fighting for the title later this month, but Robbie Lawler is definitely a guy that comes to mind. I mean, definitely one of the baddest motherfuckers to ever fight in the sport. And just really cool that I got to watch a large chunk of his career all the way, I don't know when I first saw him fight, but, it's been a long time since then, and I've seen probably every Robbie Lawler fight since. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see, what's next for him, who comes out of his gym, who he's in the corner for. I think that'll be a lot of fun. All right, might try to speed through the rest of these here because it's getting hot. I'm in this car. I have the AC on, but I don't want it just I don't want it to pick up in the background of the audio any more than maybe it already is. So might try to speed this up a little bit. A little hot in here. All right, so Bo Nickel, Val Woodburn. I feel like we probably covered that one pretty good with the the live reaction afterwards. Not really a surprising fight. I think Bo Nickel went in there and did exactly what everyone thought he was going to do. Well, he TKO'd him this time, so he didn't take him down and submit him. He got him down and TKO'd him. So 38-second knockout, just like the Robbie Lawler one. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what more to say about the Bo Nickel fight. He went in there, did what he's been doing since he started this shit, and he looks tremendous. He's legit. I was saying he was legit after. He's been legit, but after watching what he did to Jamie Pickett, I think it's only a matter of time before Bo Nickel becomes a serious problem at 185. And he said earlier today that his dream is to fight Khamzat in Las Vegas for the 185 title. So, is that impossible? I don't think so. I really don't. That would be a hell of a fight to see. I don't know that we should see it yet. I think maybe Bo Nickel should get a little more experience under his belt, but he's looking good so far. Let's see. Dan Hooker, Jalen Turner. I don't remember what we said about this fight, but it was a close fight, split decision. I thought Dan Hooker would get this one, man. I also said that I wasn't sure about that fight. Like, that was the fight I was least confident about out of all the ones that I had predicted. And I don't really know why. Dan Hooker looked good. It was a close fight. I did think that he had won 2 rounds after that fight was over. I was not surprised to see that Dan Hooker won at all. Looked good. It's just, I feel like people look at those losses on Hooker's record and they're like, he's lost a step. He's not as good. But he's been fighting some killers, Those losses on his record are to Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, Islam Makhachev, and Arnold Allen. I don't know why I fucked up his name so badly. I've been saying it a million times leading up to this pay-per-view, and now that we're almost a week after the pay-per-view, I'm still fucking up Islam's name. I wasn't saying his name a whole lot leading up to this pay-per-view, but, just kind of this past year, the pay-per-view with Volk, everything. I mean, he's one of the biggest stars in the game right now, so I don't know why I stumbled over his name so badly there. He's been fighting killer competition, so I think a lot of people looked at those losses on his record and just kind of doubted him. But no, I thought he pretty clear. It was a very good fight, very competitive fight. But no, I think Dan Hooker's just, his experience. He's more accustomed to fighting high level competition. He is a high level guy. He's just, he's not the highest level guy in that division at the moment, but he is still a very, very high level 155 pound mixed martial artist. So not that Jalen Turner isn't, but I just don't think Jalen Turner has fought the same level of competition that Dan Hooker has. So, that's why when we were talking about it on the previous episode, I went with Dan Hooker. He got the job done, showing people that he still deserves to be in the UFC. He's he finished Claudio Puelles in his last fight, nasty body kick. Yeah, Dan Hooker is not. He's not done. In fact, I think he could stick around for some time. He's only 33 years old. I mean, he's got minimum a couple years left in him fighting, UFC caliber talent. And he did enough to get the job done against Jalen Turner. It's close. Split decision's a little closer than you might like it, but I did think that he won that fight pretty convincingly. Maybe the most impressive performance of the night, Dricus du Plessis and Robert Whittaker. This is the last fight we talked about for the live reactions, I believe. So, keep it light on this too. But, man, I didn't really give du Plessis any chance at beating Whittaker, but it was pretty apparent from the get-go that du Plessis was bigger, he was stronger. Whittaker was having trouble with his style. And du Plessis was able to get the job done, man. I mean, he looked like a light heavyweight in that octagon. He looked significantly bigger than Robert Whittaker. And, I think I said it. I think I've said it fucking 2 times now on this podcast over 2 different episodes. But, Robert Whittaker only lost to Izzy in the last decade. And du Plessis comes in and finishes him in the second round like that. It's very impressive. And with the... they had the stare-off there after the fight with Izzy. So, I mean, it is... We knew it going into the fight, but it is, just to make it even more official, it is going to be Adesanya and du Plessis fighting for the belt. I don't think they have a date or anything like that on it yet, but, they'll probably make that announcement sometime relatively soon, since it's, obvious that's what they want to do. It might be better for the UFC, too, because Izzy's already fought Whittaker 2 times at this point, beat him both times. And du Plessis is a new guy. He's a South African fighter. There's just, they faced off against one another in the octagon there. They've been talking a little trash back and forth, I suppose, so should be a pretty good one. The build up to that one should be fun, and who knows, man? Du Plessis looked big in that octagon, and he took care of Robert Whittaker pretty easy. I mean, easier than most people have, easier than damn near everyone has ever taken care of Robert Whittaker, aside from maybe Adesanya in the first fight, I guess. But man, no, I didn't really give him a whole lot. Before going into the fight, I thought Whittaker was going to go in there, piece him up, show him that there are levels to the game, but that just ain't what happened. Goes to show that, you can watch martial arts for over a decade, but, you never know who's going to win a fight until the fight actually happens. And that was the first fight. I predicted the last 6 fights. Put my predictions up on Twitter. I think I definitely said them on the podcast too. That was the first one I got wrong. The second one I got wrong was Pantoja. Did not think he would. I thought Brandon Moreno had, and he has. But in my head, I was like, Moreno's a much different fighter than he was when they fought the second time, or when they fought on The Ultimate Fighter. It's been quite a few years since then. Moreno's definitely a better fighter. He's gonna. He's had those 4 wars with Figueiredo. He's going to go in there and put in the work and show people that he's going to be a consistent champion for a few years. And that just ain't what happened. It was a competitive fight. It was a close fight. I think there are some people that believe Moreno won. I don't remember how the internet was reacting after that fight. And I don't know how controversial the decision is. I don't think it was nearly as controversial as I mean, obviously other decisions that we've seen, but I don't remember seeing that many people saying it was a robbery. I did see some people saying, I thought Moreno won, but I can see how Pantoja got it. I did see a fair amount of that. I didn't see a whole lot of people saying that it was an all-out robbery. And I don't think it was. It definitely wasn't. It was a very, very close competitive fight, and I think, I think Pantoja won 3 rounds. I do. I was surprised. I really thought Moreno was going to put him on him and just kind of show him like, I'm not that guy you beat up 6 years ago or whatever it was, or 5 years. I can't remember, but no, it's just not what happened, man. Not what happened. And Brazil gets him a Brazilian champion again. They had to do without one for a little bit because Amanda Nunes retired, but because of Pantoja, they got him. They got him another champion again. They didn't have to go too long without one. So hats off to him, man. I think he's cool. He's a very interesting fighter to watch. Really always has been throughout his career. He's looked very good in the UFC. I mean, he lost to Figueiredo a couple years back, and he dropped a fight to Askar Askarov, who's, great. Where did he go, by the way? Askarov. Because, I'll play the UFC 4 game every now and then. He's on the game. And I remember his UFC run, But where did he go? Because he was just in the UFC, and then he was out. Let me see. Where did he go? Askar Askarov. Oh, he's in ACA. I got distracted. The Russian company. The Russian promotion, the ACA. Doesn't look like he's fought there yet, though. Does he have anything lined up, or is it? It was announced he signed with them in January of this year, but nothing else, I do not believe. Yeah, because, Askarov was, he was... What happened? Oh, in October of last year, he was granted a release to deal with his health issues. He was going to fight Brandon Royval October 2022, but the fight was canceled the day before due to weight management issues. I think I vaguely remember that. I don't know. I didn't remember hearing that he left the UFC. He was putting together a crazy resume, made his UFC debut against Brandon Moreno, fought him to a draw, and beat Tim Elliott, beat Pantoja, so the 2 most recent flyweight champions, he's beaten them. He also beat Joseph Benavidez, and he fought Kai Kara France. He lost, but, just another high-level guy that he fought, and now he's an ACA. He was 14-0 and 1 before or after the Benavidez fight, rather, before the Kai Kara France fight. Just a real high-level guy. I didn't know he was an ACA now. But Pantoja himself has put on a very impressive record in his own right. He's got the win over Moreno. I wonder if they'll fight again immediately, because this is the 3rd time they fought, but it's only the 2nd time they fought professionally. So professionally, they're 1-1. I wonder if they'll do like an immediate 3rd rematch, or I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what they do. But yeah, Pantoja's got submitted Alex Perez last year. Got a submission over Royval. He's got a win over Kopp. Got a win. Yeah, Matt Schnell knocked out Matt Schnell. Wilson Hayes. That's right. He beat Brandon Moreno back in 2018 too. That's right. Interesting. He did drop his 3rd fight to Dustin Ortiz, but then he went and beat Moreno, so I think he made up for it. But yeah, no, he's got a very good record just in his own right, and he's very capable on the feet, on the ground, as we saw in the fight with Moreno. He's been training at American Top Team for the past 5 years or so, and I think it's worked out pretty well for him, considering he's the champ and he's strung together this impressive record that he's got. It'll be interesting to see if they book that again, or they want to put somebody else against Pantoja. I don't know who you would put up against him, but it'd be interesting to see what they're thinking with regard to that. And then we had the main event of the night. The interim champion Yair Rodriguez TKO'd in the third round by Alexander Volkanovski, the champion and the greatest 145-pound fighter ever. There's some people that don't believe that yet. Wild. Ilia Topuria earlier today called himself the greatest 145-pound fighter ever. And I like the confidence, but, slow your roll. Speaking of face-offs, Volkanovski and Topuria had a face-off after their fight, too. So, we've been saying that's the fight to make. I think it is. It's got to be Volk and Islam or Volk and Topuria. I kind of don't mind. I would not mind either. But, if Volkanovski, beat Topuria and then he went up to 155, beat Islam, maybe beat Islam again, do a rubber match. Maybe beat some other guys at 155 or fight. This is assuming he wins all those fights, but, I think, Volkanovski's working his way up, the top 10 list. You know what I mean? He's making a claim for why he's not just one of the top 20 greatest fighters ever. I mean, he's really going to cement himself in that top 5. I think maybe before his career is over. I do kind of think, I don't know that it's necessary. It would be really helpful to get another title if he wanted to do that, just for his legacy. Because after he fights Topuria, who does he fight at 145 that he hasn't already beat up? Where does he go? I don't know. So I think, I think him moving up and fighting Islam makes a whole lot of sense. Aljamain Sterling is pretty insistent on wanting to move up to 145 after fighting Sean O'Malley, so I think Volkanovski would crush him, absolutely destroy him. But maybe it's not impossible we see that Volkanovski Aljamain Sterling fight. Maybe those are the 3 to do: Topuria, Sterling, and then Islam. Maybe that's the route they should go. I don't know. I'm not sure. Volkanovski did Volkanovski shit this past Saturday. Got the job done late in the third round. It looked good. Took just that final sequence of events there where he took Rodriguez down, looked perfect, and then just started wailing on him. That was classic Volkanovski stuff right there. Just beat him up on the feet, soften him up, take him down, and then beat the shit out of him on the ground too. It never really looked Rodriguez was never really able to get enough going to kind of make you believe that he was going to take control of the fight at some point. It kind of always felt like, when is Volkanovski going to step on the gas a little bit and put him out? And, the answer to that question was the end of the third round, because that's what he did. He just continues to defy odds, fight after fight after fight, and I'm always going to watch an Alexander Volkanovski fight, no matter who he's fighting. And I can't wait to see who they put him up against next. I really can't. I think, those 3 guys that I mentioned earlier, I think are just, just great for it. So, let me actually, before I get off here, I am parched from just talking nonstop, and it is still hot in this car. I feel like there's been some decent UFC news here recently, and I kind of just want to go back and look at some of this news we've had over the past week. It looks like the updated rankings just dropped 30 minutes ago. So let's see how those rankings are doing real quick. Just see if there's anything big. Pantoja moves into the pound for pound rankings at number 9, behind Usman and above Prochazka. Brandon Moreno dropped down 6 spots. He's number 15. Volkanovski moved up to the number 1 spot. John Jones was at it before, I guess. But he has moved up to that number 1 spot. Let's see, where are the rankings I should be looking at? Max Holloway moved up to the number 1 spot at featherweight. Rodriguez moved down to the number 2 spot. Dan Hooker has moved up 2 spots to number 10. Jalen Turner now number 12. See what else we got here. See, Strickland has moved up a spot to 6. Duplessis has moved all the way up to the number 1 spot. So everyone else in that top 5 or so got bumped down. Let's see, anyone else we want to mention here? I don't know if I'm missing anybody or not. Anybody big? Alonzo Menafield entering the light heavyweight rankings at number 14, behind Khalil Roundtree and ahead of Dustin Jacoby. I didn't see any other big changes. Not really. Did I look at bantamweight? Nothing there. No, that looks like that's about it for the rankings. There were some other fights, though. They announced John Jones and Stipe Miocic going to be fighting at Madison Square Garden November 11th. That's crazy. Early prediction, I think John Jones beats him. Stipe's, he's way older now. He hasn't fought in such a long time. I think John Jones is still, not that he fights super frequently, but, I mean, he was able to crumple Cyril Gane in like 30 seconds despite having a few years off, so... And I don't really see any reason to believe that he's not going to defeat Stipe Miocic, become, people are already calling him the greatest of all time. I have a hard time doing that because of the positive drug test, but if he beats Stipe Miocic, it's because Stipe is the greatest UFC heavyweight ever. And if Jones beats him, it does add to Jones' resume, his legacy, whether you like him or not. Another just, big name just put on there. We had Chito Vera is going to be fighting Pedro Munoz now. He was going to be fighting Cejudo, but now he will be fighting Pedro Munoz at, August 19th at TD Garden. Sure. Oh, that's the Celtics arena. Okay, I don't know why that name confused me. No, that'll be cool. It doesn't say. It's UFC 292. I don't know who else is on that card offhand. It's not headlining the pay-per-view, I would assume, but maybe a co-main event, maybe one more down the list. Let's see. Connor's team is getting their ass beat on The Ultimate Fighter. I've not been watching, but I think that he's 0-7 now as a coach on this season. Not good. What else am I looking for? I thought there was something else, man. I really did. I thought, this is not it, but another thing I read is that maybe, is a rumor, I guess, sources say that Ronda Rousey might be interested in fighting again at 145. Because, she started her professional career at 145, and I don't know. I don't know if this is just something I read, like, right before I started recording this. So, I don't know if she's looking at coming back to the UFC or going somewhere else or what, but that's just something I've seen make the rounds here on Twitter recently. I don't know. I cannot remember what the big piece of UFC news I had was. Maybe it never existed. It wasn't real, like that guy on that plane. What can you do? The performance bonuses from UFC 290, Moreno and Pantoja, not surprising. There were a lot of great fights that night, but that was a very good fight. Don't hate that. And then the performance of the night bonuses went to Dricus Duplessis and Denise Gomez. I'm pretty sure they spelled her name wrong in this graphic on the UFC Twitter. It says Dennis Gomez. I'm pretty sure her name is Denise Gomez. What can you do? You know, look, it's hard, man. It's hard to create graphics. I use Canva. You know, not that prevents me from making mistakes, or my graphics definitely don't look as good as theirs, but I'm pretty sure I've spelled most of the things I've put on a Bonfire Briefing Podcast graphic, you know, accurately. Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be tested on that claim. But, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here because, like I said, getting a little hot. Yeah, no, it was just a lot of fun. It was a great card. It kills me that I don't have the 2 recordings for the 2 championship fights, our live reactions after that. But because Alex and I live in the same, we live in close vicinity to one another, it'll be easy to do stuff like that maybe more frequently. So, you know, we might try to do another episode like that. We might try doing some different kinds of episodes, but no, definitely expect a better podcast listening experience from the Bonfire Briefing Podcast after this episode. Going to be more consistent. Going to be back to recording on a microphone instead of a phone. Going to have 2 guests, Tommy Brown III and a presidential candidate, on within the next oh man, my voice throat's a little dry. Well, yeah, no pause in the recording. It's too late. We're rolling. Yeah, 2 great guests that are going to be coming on in the next couple of weeks. Anything else? I'm going to be uploading on Tuesdays regularly after this episode, switching to Tuesday. And I think that's it. Thank you guys for hanging in there. It's been a little bit of a chaotic episode, I understand, but you know, appreciate you toughing it out and listening, and catch next week's episode. Anywhere podcasts are available, follow me on Twitter @BonfireBriefPod, and I'll see you guys next time.